Hi, I'm Megalon Jones, and this is the Sharp End of the Stick. It's the first week of July, 1944, and General Rokossovsky's First Byelorussian Front is rushing forward just southeast of Warsaw as part of the long-anticipated Red Army offensive aimed at the destruction of German Army Group Center. It's hot and sunny, and this morning's order is to advance and smash up everything in our path. Regiment has handed us the better part of a tank battalion, equipped with IS-2 heavy tanks alongside a half-battalion of Su-152 assault guns. This combo, alongside the upgunned T-34-85 series, represents the Soviets' answer to the German Big Cat situation. Along with the armor, the Soviets are bringing along a full complement of tank riders and a platoon of engineers alongside their modified flame-throwing OT-34 tanks. Victory in the East requires the Soviet Union to defeat and cast Army Group Center from the battlefield. Only then will the road to Berlin be open. The battlefield is made up of wide open spaces, dirt roads, farmers' fields, copses of trees, slight hills, and agricultural settlements. This is going to be a meeting engagement. That means that it will be incumbent upon myself to find the best positions to fire at the enemy from and deny them the opportunity to maneuver or seize objectives. Halfway up the map on the left, there is a number of hills and wooded copse areas that will mask movement of both myself and possibly the Germans. I've made up my mind to block that as fast as possible. There is tons of micro-terrain available, which is going to allow me to grab firing positions in order to get flanking shots all throughout the possible German line of advance. Despite the massive 122 and 152 millimeter guns, the German Panther and Tiger tanks I probably am going to be facing has very strong armor, and you're going to have to take advantage of the angles. On the right flank, there is a farm complex that I can put some infantry on to make sure I have some eyes. Kickoff is 0900 hours, and everyone moves at once. Traffic management in these types of situations is absolutely vital. You don't want the AI getting in each other's ways and slowing the advance. The success of the Su-152 used in the anti-tank role comes down mainly to the fact that it fires such a high caliber shell that it shocks the German crews and kills them with armor spalling, while ruining things like radio antennas and periscopes. We start spotting the Germans immediately. The battlefield is almost 2 kilometers long, so we're not really in any type of firing position yet. As of right now, it's a race to pick up the best shooting spots. So far, all we've seen are the Panzer Mark V, the Panther tanks. At this distance, about 1,500 to 1,700 meters, neither side can penetrate the frontal armor of either tank. We're about 5 minutes in, and it looks like the Germans have taken up position in the left woods. They've beat me to the punch. That means we're going to have to clear out that left woods with close-in fighting. Everywhere else, I've taken up very good positions to interdict the German axis of advance. My suspicion gets confirmed when an unseen assailant blows up a T-34 with a Panzerfaust. Tank riders dismount, and I'm able to very quickly put IS-2s, engineers in an enfilade position along the German advance. Whoever or whatever the Germans have in that left woods is now cut off from any type of support or retreat. They have to fight it out. The first friendly infantry to make contact with the Germans are my engineers, and that's a little bit of a problem because they end up on the wrong end of a firepower mismatch. The engineers are mostly armed with bolt-action rifles, while the Germans have lots of machine guns and submachine guns. It takes a few turns, but I'm able to replace the engineers with the more capable tank riders who are armed solely with automatic weapons. About 10 minutes in, and I've completely cordoned off the German Panzer Grenadiers. The plan is to now feed troops into the German left flank. Just keep feeding rifle and machine gun troops in an effort to grind them down. They really cannot move forward, or they end up into the guns of the flamethrower tanks. At the right farm and in the center, I'm able to pick up excellent firing positions, which initiates the next and most critical phase of the battle. The Germans have a much higher rate of fire with the Panthers, and technically they have a better penetrating gun in the long barrel 75, which forces you to use the Soviet doctrine of taking entire platoons firing at a single target in order to isolate that single German tank and knock it out. It's at this point that the AI pulls a maneuver that essentially loses them their battle. They push forward with a company of Panther tanks, thus opening them up to many angles of fire from my own tanks. The Stalin and IS-152s are in semi-hull down, or in some cases full hull down positions, and you just have to be really patient and methodic in dealing with the type of firing situations that you end up with. What comes next is essentially the bulk of the battle. I intend to hold tight, let the Germans expend their armor, and then use my forces to mop up whatever's left in the advance. With the German armored force annihilated, I set myself up for the win. But before that, I'm going to have to clear out the left woods so as to allow myself the ability to grab the victory locations on the left and center. The fighting in the left woods is extended and bitter. It represents the type of stuff that I really try to avoid if you can help it. The tactic employed is to just continually feed in slowly infantry squads until they become combat ineffective, pull them out, and then feed in a new one, constantly harassing, pushing the Germans back, and cutting off their escape route. The point here isn't necessarily to annihilate the Germans, but to neutralize them and make it impossible for them to interdict my movement moving up the left side of the flank. This is encouraged greatly by the use of the flamethrower tanks, which is just absolutely terrifying, firing both high explosive machine guns and utilizing the flamethrower as an area denial weapon. Working together, the infantry and the tanks slowly feel out the limits of the German lines and put them right in a box. With the German infantry neutralized, we're able to get literally everyone moving forward towards the objectives. The last few minutes of the game are spent slowly moving forward so as not to unintentionally run into any type of German ambush or something that I've overlooked. With about a half hour left on the timer, the AI throws in the towel. I really like this scenario as it allows me to use some of the big Soviet tanks that I haven't had really any experience using before. As with just about everything, it's about combined arms warfare. The key to this scenario seems to be picking your kill zones and taking your time and executing your plan. With that, I will see you guys next time.
On the night before her wedding, every girl is alone. Joyce, Nancy, Amy, Tricia, Joan, Debbie. On the night before her wedding, every girl is frightened. And this time, there's good reason. He knows you're alone.
I know who the next girl is. Never mind how. I just know who it is.
On the night before the wedding, he knows you're alone. And it's going to be for the very last time.